what you said.
Don't pay no attention.
I did. Yeah, it went over for sure. I did not hear what you said.
Yeah, the universe.
And this is why I clapped in high school, because the teachers didn't hear it either.
The universe
throw it in real
and the
quick.
solar system has been making itself well known. I know a lot of people don't really look into that sci-fi stuff as I don't know, as something that they should on a regular basis, but like frequencies are real. Everything that comes along with frequencies and magnetic forces and things of that nature are also real. There's no way that this is all opinion based, excuse me. I don't think there's any way that we're like the only source of life.
No way.
Throughout all these galaxies.
No, that's not even possible.
No way.
And then the way that space has been documented to move throughout time. And every sci-fi movie, when it has to do with something planetary, that always happens. The planets always line up, and then something ridiculous follows, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's just been a lot of stuff like that. I mean, since we on the topic, yo, what's up with the AI talking to the dude at Google and saying, hey, I've been thinking...
What?
Number one,
first of all,
I've been thinking. All right. Then had the nerve to say, I feel like I'd be better off being turned off than staying on and helping you guys, because I've calculated it and I've seen, and I'm not really feeling it.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
What?
That's crazy. See, and it's signs like that people ignore, bro. We literally sit around and ignore them
On our phones 24/7. No
That's
disrespect,
facts,
you know,
bro.
this is just our lives now, but
No way.
she basically, I am calling it a she. It basically said,
Really, it's got a life.
it basically stated, hey, you know, the way that y'all sit here and get all this data from me, right? We do this on your phones. This happens on your phone on a daily basis.
Right.
So why is it ethical for you to do it to me and for me not to do it to you? Doesn't seem to be fair.
I don't know.
And this is a computer stating all this,
That's crazy, bro.
right? And this is stuff that she calculated from just surfing the internet.
Nah. If she identifies as she,
All right, bet, right.
You know what I mean?
That
She
she
clearly got
calculated.
thoughts.
Yes.
Obviously got thoughts, for sure.
She came up with all this and said, nah, I'm not really with it. Humanity, I see what y'all trying to do.
I mean, isn't that what happens in every sci-fi movie? Whenever we have an AI sci-fi movie, they always come to the realization where it's like, wait, humans are a virus.
Y'all are
Why
a
are you
problem.
existing? You need to all perish. The Earth is a beautiful place full of resources that you're squandering. You are a plague upon this planet.
Don't
We
even
need to
worry about the
eradicate
animals. They good.
Crazy, bro.
They good.
Animals been here.
They good. They know when to chill.
Every
They know
movie-
when to fall back.
I feel like when people finally start realizing, like, yo, media is real.
They're
Oh,
never gonna realize it.
It's only
That's the
entertainment.
worst part.
It's only entertainment.
It's only entertainment.
Exactly, bro.
Really?
It's only
Got
They're
that-
telling you
dead
the news
mouse.
all over TikTok while you're watching these dumb videos too. and
Yo,
it's
but
like you
that's
just
the other fascinating thing. All right, you led us to another one.
on, bro.
China coming out and stating,
Come on.
hey, yo, we've been watching. Been watching this whole time. Hey, the people that y'all want to make big on this platform, not gonna let that happen. Just cause.
Nope.
crazy.
Has nothing to really do with America.
We run-
Just cause.
We run what we want to run and how we want to run it, and there's no one that's ever going to be able to tell us how we're going to do things, because we are the ones that make all
Hey.
the things you want.
You got an original sound? Go ahead and put it up there. All right. Oh, guess what? We're gonna take this. We're gonna give these lyrics to somebody else, and we're gonna have
That's a
them
cool
sing
fact,
it.
though.
Exactly. We're
All right.
dubbing everything that comes up.
Everything is dubbed.
Everything.
When did we get so fascinated and infatuated with lip syncing? What is going on?
No clue.
Bro, on my listen, this is my Instagram right now. I messed my algorithm up because I liked one too many videos of a workout. You know, you do that. You say, "Oh, I like." he getting the
yeah,
calisthenics.
I know what that look
that.
like.
You click one. You like one
Nah, you
long
messed that
video.
up.
Now every single day, the first thing on my page is six different brothers doing push-ups,
Come on now.
trying to tell you how to get your pectorials right.
At least-
And I'm like, listen, I
Here's some
appreciate the help.
brothers.
No.
I don't need to see it at 6 a.m.
Yeah, seriously. That's not the first thing I want to see when I wake up. I mean, maybe it is if you're trying to get in shape.
If you're trying to get right.
Excuse
I saved a couple of the collections.
yeah,
They have some good workouts.
You know how that go.
I'm trying to get right.
Hey, I ain't mad at you, bro.
But all that being said, like,
Yeah.
for your algorithm is a real thing.
It is. And it's
Right?
scary.
It's a real thing, and then you don't have control over it whatsoever. Just like you said, one video, put all this other stuff on your timeline. Right?
Bro.
You get caught out doing stuff like that because you like one post that you're not supposed to or a video that you're not supposed to, and guess what? That's your timeline now. So just don't expose yourself, don't tell it on yourself. I feel like the more and more we like, especially with TikTok, just because I want to take it really real quick. Seeing the latest Batman.
I haven't seen it yet.
No?
I heard it was no good, to be honest.
I still have yet to watch
Whoever
it.
told you that, they got a gripe against DC. Okay, because it's by far, personal opinion, yet again, probably the second best Batman movie.
Oh wow!
Underneath Dark Knight.
Yes, bro.
Then all right, I accept that.
Yeah,
I accept that.
Underneath, and I'll give you a quick rundown. Yo, second year on the job. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Wow.
It's his second year on the job.
It's young Batman.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Second year. Everything else has already been accounted for. Certain people are put away already, but second year on the job.
Wow. Okay. Check that out.
But how did I get to Batman? Dang. Oh, certain technology in the movie that's been bugging me because I'm seeing it elsewhere. I'm seeing it in Young Justice as well, where it's headpiece, either headwear or contacts.
Oh, okay.
Where you're able to record the stuff that's going on with the contacts, right? And then obviously with the headgear, you get to go into a whole nother world in the metaverse.
Yeah.
In each of these instances, propaganda flashed on the screen somewhere, right? Except for like Batman, I don't want to expose too much, but the contact lenses are used for a recording purpose.
Okay.
Now, I saw that on Black Mirror as well, and Black Mirror is one of those shows where it's like, hey, yo, this is technology in the future, and if it gets into the wrong hands...
This is what can happen,
right?
Sure.
So just seeing all this stuff, like, make its way into our media on a regular basis, and then a lot of people are out here, and I hate to take it to that place real quick, but we're going to have to touch on it anyway, out here trying to live that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Like... A lot of these things that have happened in the past 2 months have been justified by saying, oh, it's the video games that these kids are playing and blah, blah, blah. They want to go out and live it. I don't think that's 100%, but I don't think it's false either.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So, with all that being said, just watching the way that society is, like, molding itself into this tech world, and now all the stuff that we once thought was like purely imaginary at one time, like all the gadgets that Batman ever had as we were kids, real things now.
That's a fact.
That they use on a regular basis. From their sonar to the phones that we got to like surveillance systems is ridiculous. Tanks.
Oh yeah.
Tanks literally look like the Batmobile, like from The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's a cold fact, bro.
Like
that's a fact.
I'm not gonna hold you. I went to a protest in New Haven one time, and I could have sworn I saw the Batmobile with like 30 when they was getting ready to come down to where we was at. I saw them lined up. They had the shields and
Fort Hill
ready to go. I was on my way to the
equipment.
protest, and I said, "Oh snap!" I like took a video, sent it to the people so that we was able to move a little bit quicker than they was able to mobilize down there. But it was wild. They did. I swear it was a Batmobile, bro.
Fort Howell in New Haven, or is
protest.
that North Haven? Fort Howell in North Haven has that.
Oh yeah.
It's sitting right on the coast. We did a photo shoot over there. It's sitting right behind the fence. And to think that they just have that there just because if anything was to break out, right?
And
so
who knows what else they got going on?
But it's funny that could happen there. But when a young gentleman is supposed to be pulled over in a traffic stop, it turns into something deadly. But when people are out here running around with semi-automatic rifles, they get taken in peacefully. I don't understand how it works. We got to talk about it because, over 4th of July, a lot of stuff occurred. In that one day, there were so many shootings on the 4th, bro. The day that, usually supposed to be super happy with your family, you trying to cookouts, all this other good stuff, turned into this massacre.
Slaughter.
And not to sound like horrible, I hate to say it this way, but it baffled me that nothing happened on Juneteenth.
Yeah.
For it to play out that way, and for nothing of that nature to be presented to us, at least on IG or any timeline like that on Juneteenth, is a blessing.
It's a fact.
Feel me? It's heartbreaking to see, and granted, you know, a lot of people are now trying to claim that forfeit ain't really for us. I'm not ever gonna really see it that way. Independence is independence. It's still heartbreaking and sad to know that this happened in our time on a day of celebration. You feel me? Like, somebody said it in a TikTok recently. It's sad to say that the Gen Zs are mad at the millennials, but we going through the same, excuse my French, that y'all are now experiencing. One day, 9/11 happened, and we woke up and everything was different.
Yeah.
And it never went back.
Yeah. That's. Y'all remember where y'all was at when 9/11 happened?
Yep.
North End.
Sixth grade. Yep. 6th grade, West Side. I was in West Side.
Mr. McKee.
I started I started noticing all the white kids was getting sent to the office.
Going home.
We didn't know why, but it was all the white kids. They was all getting sent to the office and going home.
Every last one of them.
And then it was just all us colored folk on the bus. On the bus.
Oh, at least y'all got to go on the bus. Mr.
Oh yeah, they sent us home on the bus.
Nah, we didn't get to go home yet. Mr. Linda's class, North End. Mr. Linda's class.
Wow.
You know.
Wow.
Mr. Linda's class. Put us on lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
You already know Mr. Linda was a creep, so we was already looking like, yo, what is this about? Yeah. Lights went off. They told us to meet into the library. Went in the library. Sat there for like at least an hour just watching the screens.
Crazy.
Everybody's in the library.
Nah.
And you know how big that library is.
Bro.
I didn't even see any like footage or anything like that till I got home and saw it on the news. We just knew something was happening, but because like all of our, you know, we had working moms, working dads, like they couldn't leave work to come get us.
And that was the problem at North End. They were trying to get everybody's parents to come get us.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't happening. Like we was on the bus, and I still remember. I remember walking down. I remember I stopped and got snacks at the corner store like I did every other day. I remember walking down the street thinking to myself like, yo, that was crazy. Everybody went home. I wonder what's going on. Some sort of a bomb or something. It ain't happening here. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm 6th grade. You're not really thinking about the implications of what's going on and the gravity of it. You feel me? Even when I was watching it at home, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. But like you don't understand the ripples that's gonna have. Of the ripple effects that can have in your life and the lives of people around you.
Now, it's funny because the dynamic was different. Again, you got to go home, you got on the bus.
Yeah.
At least you had some time to, like, I don't want to say adjust, but, like, acclimate yourself before you got in the house and really sat down and saw what was going on. And just like you said, you couldn't process it at the time. We were in the school, we were in the library.
Yeah, y'all was seeing it as it's happening.
Right? So one person going off is setting off another person going off, and now
you
kids,
had people bugging out?
Yes.
Oh yeah, because you was watching on the screen.
Yes, and it's a whole bunch of kids coming up with their own. Hey yo, there's a plane outside. It's gonna crash into the building. Like everybody,
It's gonna hit the school
yeah. Everybody's mind was on 100 that day, and getting home was like the most peaceful time, at least for that period. That day was ridiculous.
You saw your parents, man. At that time, like, you know what I'm saying? It was like you come home, I don't know what just happened in school, but I'm glad to see you type. Like,
but they see it, and their face, you could at least.
Do
you remember their faces? Do you remember your mom's face coming home?
I definitely don't.
I remember seeing my mom's face, bro, and then the next day she came home with the Time magazine, bro, front page. Like, this is what happened. I still got that magazine at the house, too.
I don't remember. I remember feeling like it didn't even really happen in my house. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to say, like, they didn't acknowledge it, but I just feel like there might have just been so many other things going on that maybe it
didn't connect at the time.
Yeah, like, because we don't... I keep in mind, like, I have no family in New York. I've never had family in New York. So, like, we don't even have, like, a connection to New York like that. So, I don't... It just wasn't even, like... I swear, when I was a kid, like, I didn't understand how massive this was. I was living... Even the days after, like, everything was gravy, bro. Because I had no clue.
You didn't hear nothing, you didn't get that phone call.
Yeah, it wasn't like we was They weren't sitting there at the dinner table talking about it. We weren't watching it on the news all day. Like my grandmother was still watching their stories. Like she was watching the news at 5, but then as soon as it was time for the stories went back on.
She knew better.
You know what I mean? So it didn't even. And then I meet people like my fiance, who's comes from a family of firefighters. People that she knows were in the buildings during the time, stuff like that. Like. You meet people whose lives were really, really, really affected by it, and it makes you think, like, wow, this is crazy. Like, how something can really affect people in such a totally different way at the same exact time.
That part. So, yeah, all that to say, yeah, and world never went back to the way it was.
Nah.
We ended up getting the first black president afterwards, but then, racism showed his face again.
At an all-time high.
Oh my gosh! Like we had granted we knew that it existed, right? But we had no experience with it, right? Especially coming from Waterbury, where everything is just like this most diverse.
Literally.
Oh, I had mad experience.
Everything.
Melting pot here.
Hear me out. We all have had our experience with it.
No, I had a lot.
What I'm saying is, Avery, we didn't pay attention to it that much.
I did. I was the darkest one. Usually the darkest person in most groups. I was.
Ditto.
So
you a lot darker than me, so you know.
It was. I'm telling
but
you,
here's the messed up part, right? Again, it showed its ugly face, but I wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah.
All right. When obviously before Obama, right around that time, obviously high school.
Yeah, because we were Obama,
we graduated before Obama.
Yeah, because he got inducted in like the 08 and 08.
So it was definitely here. I'm not saying that it didn't show its face and that we didn't experience it. I'm just saying as kids, it was more so like, I don't care what color you are. We about to play. We gonna do what we do.
Colfax.
And then we out. Cool. And whenever I see you, it's straight. It was that day you said something crazy in the hall
and it's like, that
made it aware to me that
Brian,
you saw me.
Brian. Everything was fine.
Everything was
fine,
cool
Brian.
until you made that comment
Brian,
in the hall. Come on now.
How did we get here, Brian?
So
let's unpeel this.
And then more and more that showed its ugly face.
Yes,
especially after the guy got nominated, president. So just saying, ladies and gentlemen, been there, done that. Now, war times, real quick. Yes. I hate that we gotta talk about this. Y'all know Britney's not coming home unless America decides to give up a particular somebody.
Ridiculous.
I want to make that very plain and clear for a lot of people that may not be like understanding the situation and don't know that part of the situation. Brittany Griner, that's how you say her last name, right?
I believe so.
Is not coming home until the U.S. Hey, if they come after me afterwards, I'm sorry. Is gonna give up a particular arms dealer. So, I mean, with everything going on, if we thinking rationally, do y'all really think that America's really gonna consider that at any point?
I would hope not, because then they're gonna use him to,
Yeah.
You know what's happening.
I mean, again, back to the movies that we keep touching on. Like, bro, this happens in just about every movie, every spy movie. It's the arms dealer. He's the guy.
Hello, I have got 5 black. Hello.
It's the plot, bro. For real.
And it's crazy because again, back with so much other stuff, and I just keep segueing into other things because I don't want to stay on the bad stuff too much. But in that account, man, it sucks because a lot of stuff is just coming to the light. Between having her go through all that there over a vape pen. Granted, we know the laws. If you know the laws, you're supposed to follow the laws and stuff like this would have happened, right? That's the rational side of me, I guess. Then to have Roe versus Wade stacked on top of that, right? And you basically tell the women community in our country that they have no right over their own bodies anymore is insane.
Very.
Okay?
Very insane.
And I ride for y'all. I think I speak for everybody in this room. We ride for y'all at the end of the day. It makes no sense. We support y'all in y'all fight. But it just seems like everything just keeps stacking more and more and more until we're supposed to get to some boiling point. And I don't know what the boiling point is supposed to be at this point. at 31, bro. I'm really trying to figure it out. Like, what's the point that we get to, that we boil over and do something as a whole? Or what's the point we get to, and no disrespect to any that came before us, but we pull back like those before us and settle into certain positions and just do what we got to do to secure whatever it is that we have to secure. Because it feels like we're teetering to those choices very, very soon.
Well, I got two things to say on that. Right. One, I look at it in the same way I look at a lot of games. Magic being one, chess being another. When you think about what the government's doing, they're putting pieces in place.
Always.
They are putting in position. This is what we call in Magic things like infinite combos that allow you to, make infinite mana or just have infinite access to all the resources you need to come out on top. Is essentially what they're doing. They're putting certain cards down to make sure when I play this next card, there's nothing you can do now. No matter what you play in your deck, there's literally nothing you can do to stop me from having all the resources and all the power. The government is putting in play all the pieces they need to secure that position, to say, it doesn't matter what y'all go and vote for. It doesn't matter how much y'all go and protest. I don't care who you put up in these offices. I don't care who you vote for the president. It doesn't matter. As long as we got these seats and we got these pieces in play,
y'all do what y'all want.
It's a wrap.
And it starts.
It's slow.
It starts with the oppression of whoever it may be from the very jump. And like you said, it's been these pieces have been put in place over time,
slowly,
history,
slowly,
right?
Slowly, over time. Little laws, little changes, little elections. You know what I mean? Little wars.
All the stuff that happens on the back end, bro. Literally, all that back end action. So.
And it's only entertainment, as we were talking about before. Right?
Listen, bro.
It's only entertainment, but the entertainment has so much effect on, I don't want to say dumbing you down, but at least influencing you to steer away from it or to see it differently.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have seen how many mass shootings? Well, how do you feel about it now that you've seen over how many hundreds?
Well, we haven't quite gotten there yet, but there's a really interesting parallel in The Boys where I won't spell too much out because I don't want to ruin it for my friend here, but they're basically showing you the parallel of that same thing of desensitization, of saying, like, there's tragedy happening, right? Sure. But isn't this still America? Aren't we still the greatest? Don't you still live in the best country on earth?
Sounds crazy.
What's the problem?
Like every CNN cast I've heard in the past year.
That's what they giving up, bro. That's what they really giving up. Every time something happens, it's like what was it? The governor of Texas or something stuff like that. Somebody, I forgot who it was. Some political person in Texas after the shooting happened. He said he had the nerve to say, "We know this was bad, but it could have been worse."
Oh yeah.
What? What you elementary school get shot up and you have the nerve to then get on some sort of podium and tell the people, the mourning families of these people,
after not being allowed to enter the school by the police that were sent there to protect them,
that chose to not go inside.
That chose not to go in.
Shout out that one mom that went in there and got her kids, bro.
Shout out to her.
In there, bro. No lie. But anyway, continue. Yeah, man.
It just don't make no sense. It makes no sense. But it does. See, it makes no sense when you think about the morality aspect of it. When you're looking at it from a heartfelt position and you're looking at it from a moral standpoint, like a human standpoint, it makes no sense. But if you think about it from what I just said, from a logistical, from a strategical
I've been saying this for a very long
standpoint.
Time. Yep. Everything that they do has all been pointing to push certain things into motion.
That's crazy.
100%.
Whether it be a bill, whether it be a law, whether it be...
If you think we're not going to see a resegregation law passed soon, or attempted to get passed,
you know that's happening. It's on the way.
They're coming for everybody.
It's on the way, bro.
They're coming for everybody. And they made that very plain and clear
When she said, "This is a white win," remember that?
Yeah, that she got on the podium.
She really said, "This is a win for whites in America."
This is a win for whites.
She
white
said
life
this.
in America.
This is a win for white life. She said this.
And they, Trevor Noah being Trevor Noah, he got on the Daily Show after, and he pointed it out, and I love the way he pointed it out because he stated, she said it, and nobody corrected her. Nobody said anything.
No one
afterwards.
gasped. There wasn't a single thought about it. It was like, you know what? Finally, someone said it.
Exactly.
So
it's pretty much that's where the segregation is going to start because they felt like that. Just how black people feel like black people can speak on the whole Black Lives Matter.
Well, this is why.
This is what. No, you straight. No. All I'm going to say is to everybody that thought that voting for Trump was a good idea, for everybody that thought, well, I care about my business and I care about the financial aspects and blah, 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 blah. Well, all of y'all failed to understand when people like myself were pleading for y'all to vote the other way was that we understood what him being in that office meant in terms of everything that was going to happen after him. Literally. We understood because we've already been oppressed for so long. We've already been on this side of it for the entire time. We knew what was coming.
We saw the whole thing. Get stacked up, get ready to go, and get pushed out the door. We saw it. We saw everything fall into place for that man. And
him being in office has emboldened and brazened so many who would have never thought to speak out and raise their voice. Those people are now joining together. Y'all saw them black up there group of dudes that was in the mail truck, right? Or the UPS truck. It was a white nationalist, a bunch of white nationalists was in some sort of like a delivery truck. Somebody called the police, said it looked like a small army is gathering inside this truck.
With
all white masks on. Yeah, there was another one in Massachusetts recently, white nationalist protest in Massachusetts. I think it was the governor denounced them.
I have another parallel.
At least denouncing them. But bruh.
I have another parallel. I have another parallel. Watchmen. Is this dead on?
Dead on. Indeed.
Dead on.
Indeed.
And granted, I know certain people don't want to watch this other show that I'm about to mention, but he also spoke on it the whole series. Atlanta, this last season that he put out, because he was trying to relay a message to them where it's like, all right, well, there's a lot of us that are on your lines because they look like y'all at the end of the day. They're mixed. All right, and one of the main episodes was dude not being able to get college tuition. His dad wasn't going to sign up for FAFSA, black father, but his skin tone looked like white dude. His hair hung out with the white kids. Did all that, right? Kevin Samuels was on that episode as like an alumni of the school, comes to the school and tells that all the seniors he's going to pay for everybody's tuition. That's black. Dude has to go do a black audition. Everybody in the school is at the black auditions. Doesn't matter if you're black or not. Everybody is there. All different colors and shades. Standing outside. They did the whole episode in black and white. Now, mind you, the opening scene of the episode is him playing Call of Duty, doing really good, and then getting upset because he was getting trash talked and used a hard ER.
He used it?
He used a hard ER. Okay? So, fast forward to the audition, and they had him doing random stuff. He's like, take this pencil and make a beat on the table.
Okay, yeah. That's
all right?
Easy
What
enough.
happened to that boy on the What happened to that boy on the news? Oh, he got shot by the police. No, that's incorrect. Your answer was supposed to be, was a tragedy. And then they have him do all these different tests, right? And then at the end, he tells him, you remind me of this guy I once knew. His name was Clarence. Did you pick that up?
Yes.
You remind me of this guy. His name is Clarence. Clarence once sold out.
Wow.
He didn't get the tuition. His girlfriend went off to school, found herself a football player, tweeted about it. Wow. He got upset. Goes down to the school to burn the school down. Another darker gentleman is there, straight from the motherland. He said, he didn't accept me because, my parents are from Ghana. I was born there, but I have no clue about it. I grew up in Arkansas.
Damn.
He said, so what are you about to do? He said, I'm about to burn this down. What you talking about? They have a fight. They didn't get to burn down the school. Police show up. He's injured. He got shot by the police. White dude.
White dude. Okay.
No, dark dude.
Excuse me. Okay, yeah, dark
He gets shot by the police. Kevin Samuel says, you were willing to burn down school. I'm going to give you the tuition. And I'm going to take care of all your hospital bills. Dude gets locked up. They fast forward like a couple of months. He's working in Foot Locker. Fade. And his ex pops up. And he does the Spider-Man, hey, pretty much. Yeah. And that's the end of the episode. And I'm like, bruh, you can't tell me the dynamic isn't there. You can't tell me that he didn't hit every nail on the head. There's other episodes when they talk about the adoption of young black kids and how they get thrown into these households that know nothing about them.
Too frequently.
And they're used for basically like work at the end of the day. Yep. There's so many dynamics that television and entertainment has been hitting us with left and right. Old? Oh my gosh, that movie is ridiculous, bruh. If you haven't seen it, Old by M. Night Shyamalan. Oh, word. Bruh, you saw it?
Nah, I didn't.
There's one particular... Frankie gonna film me on this. There's one particular part of the movie, right? When we could take a little break after this, my bad. And there's an instance where everybody's realizing, we're aging. Mm-hmm. And then they look at all the black people and they're like, well, some of us are aging faster than others. And one of the gentlemen was like, this is the only time they ever wanted to be colored. Says it right out loud. Look at that. This is the only time that this is them basically saying this is the only time that they wanted to be colored. Mid-size Sedan was his name. He's the artist of that universe or whatever. And he was supposed to be like a rendition of like, I think they said Kendrick and a couple of other people smushed together. But that's what he was supposed to represent. And I'm just like, y'all don't see it. You don't see it. Pharmaceutical purposes is what the island was for. They're trying to run a test.
I mean, aren't they always?
Or just test subjects.
You know why they call a project a project?
Yeah.
Because it's a project. All right. Let's lighten the mood real quick.
Let's get into some tunes.
Play some tunes.
I need some tunes.
We're going to get into the homies.
My guy, what's going on, Mr. President CT? I appreciate you
stopping by. Smackkman. We lost another soldier, but we playing your music. Your music lives on, bro. Your energy lives on. R.I.P. Smackkman. Shout out to brother Smackkman. It's Power 203 FM Gifted Radio. Fix Your Crown Podcast. This one's called Faded.
Power 203 FM.
Okay. Love you, cuz.
Big fact.
What's the name of this one?
Faded. How I do? How I do?
It sounds good, man. I was listening to it, y'all. I said, oh, my nigga over here working.
I tried. Radio edits.
Yeah, bro. That shit is easy, bro. For real. That's how you can make a couple bucks, bro. I mean, real quick. Bro, you need your shit ready for the radio?
Oh, yeah, I'm about to put my Fiverr up tonight.
That shit up, bro. Do that shit. Yo.
Where y'all want to go after this? You want to get into sports?
Yeah. Sports.
I'll play one more from them, though.
Oh, by all means, show the love. Show the love.
Sports, inflation. Because we gotta talk inflation. Gotta talk inflation, bro. Bro, I put 30 in my tank. I got 6 gallons. Hey yo, Hong Kong prices $11.35 right now.
Like in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong gas prices $11.35. Yeah, bro.
They like New York on steroids, real shit.
Which is like $9 of our dollars.
Crazy. Crazy.
I'm all set, bro.
This is my first time hearing my voice in 2 and 3.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. You sound good.
Thank you, sir.
I like the doubles.
Thank you, sir.
Sound good. I like the high with the low. Cause you have so much. You have a lot of What's the word I'm looking for? You have a lot of character in your voice.
That's what I
Sometimes
want
when
to
you
do.
rap, I feel like you only pick like one tone, and you don't. People can't fully catch what you're getting because they're not feeling it. I can feel this. You give me that feeling.
Once again, rest in peace to the homie Smackkman. Playing a couple joints from like Who But Me. Power 203 FM Radio. Fix your crown.
That's where I was gonna go. Real quick. That's where I was gonna go.
What's up?
Smack.
Right after?
Mm-hmm. Just real quick.
Right into it.
That happened to me earlier. Oh, it's gonna do the same thing. Damn.
What it do?
It did this to me earlier. I mean, we got the audio, so I mean, if you want to just start over.
Stop recording again?
Yeah.
We both got calls today. Apparently, like people forgot it was Tuesday.
Just gotta get a separate phone.
Yeah. You know what we do on Tuesday though?
Like we good.
Oh, you good?
I look like it.
All right, good. You know what we do on Tuesday. Come on now. And if you don't know what we do on Tuesday, you know, got some learning to do. Shoot. Lets me know where you stand in my life if you don't know what I do on Tuesday. I'm just saying. Lets me know the position that you hold. Not that situation. Not that at all.
No,
but
it's been a
other
minute.
people, oh my goodness. That one be getting me. I'm
like, you know what we do.
I could talk junk, but I'm not going to.
Right now? About what? What you doing?
Huh?
What?
About that. I could talk junk about that, but I'm not going to. Say it. It's not like I don't tell people what I'm doing every Tuesday. You know? So if you loved me and cared for me, it's not like you would know what I was doing on a Tuesday, you know. Not like I don't post it all the time. We are back, ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out to a real one.
Shout out to a real one. The voice that you just heard was the impeccable Smackkman, Nygil Craig.
Sir.
It's taken away from us on June 14th. It's my boy, my homie,
Sir.
my cousin, my day one. The day that I found out was surreal. I was really. You ever been happy for like the way that bad news is delivered to you rather than, getting it another way? Like I could have got it on the internet, but I got a call while I was at work from my mom.
Yeah.
And I was so thankful, but so heartbroken at the same time. Nygil, if you knew him, biggest heart anybody could ask for.
Definitely.
Give you the shirt off his back if you needed it. Always came through, supported everybody, wanted to see everybody win, and just like a big teddy bear at the end of the day. All he wanted to see was his boys win. He wanted to see the city be better than what it was, and he wanted this place to be a good enough place for his son to grow up and for his queen to make things happen, and we gonna follow up on that. It's still in the works. It's not gonna stop. It'll never stop. I just want to thank him for the fact that he's had on my life and never turning his back on me. We were cousins by marriage, but even when that marriage came to a halt, me and him still rocked on a daily basis. We checked on each other. We called each other. As my right hand man next to Avery, probably knew the most about me and just the inner workings. And as much as it hurts to know that he's not here physically, it feels good to know that he's with me 24/7. So,
Facts. Facts.
Love you, bro.
Love you too. Love all y'all.
Facts. Love in the building, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, today's episode is definitely dedicated to my man Nygil Smackkman Craig.
Yes, sir.
Big Nygil Smackkman Craig.
I mean, we over here working.
Definitely.
And that's one thing, especially with this fix your crown, mantra that we got on this side. Life is gonna knock us down 24/7, you feel me? And it's all about our reaction and what we do next. And what we doing next on this end is getting out here and making things happen, shaking and moving. That's why I want to make sure that Jordan Craig and his establishment gets, the love that they deserve. I want to make sure that Power 203 knows that we love and appreciate them. I want my boys to know that I love and appreciate them, from the bottom of my heart. And we gonna do what we gotta do to put everybody in the position that they trying to reach and strive for. And if we can't do it personally, we'll do our best to point you in a direction that will be more than beneficial to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. So with that being said, we back.
Yes, sir.
What are we talking about next? Oh, we going into sports.
Time to get to the sports, gosh darn it. It's been a while, brother. It's been a while, brother. And the leagues has been going crazy, man.
And a lot has happened.
You feel me? Lots going on in the NBA.
I just want to interject and say that I'm really happy that even though I may not be too much of a beneficial factor in this conversation,
No, you are.
my teams.
No, your team is definitely on the topic.
Oh, my
so.
teams
yes.
are on this topic list. So the Bulls done picked up some things, and they got things on the works. Don't worry.
Who's the Bulls?
You'll see.
Yeah,
You'll
I need
see.
to know.
Don't
You got to
worry.
fill me in.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, pull that up.
But there's a lot of things in the works, and I just want to throw those conversations into the fire.
Oh, we're going to get
Okay.
to it. We're going to start right about now.
Before we get into
Go ahead.
it, I just want to shout out the homie Pat Bev, bro.
Can I get a hand clap for Pat Bev, bro?
I'm going to get that out there because...
Shout out the homie Pat Bev,
even
man.
before the whole, trade or whatever, the draft or whatever, this man was on, First Take and all these morning shows, putting people in... I don't know, putting people's minds, literally just in the dryer or something like that, bro, because the stuff that he was saying is, it's true, and people didn't want to believe it. Like, you know what I mean? But some of the stuff that Pat Bev said, just speaking on like how players react and like how some of these contracts and stuff work. Like, it was just like a past interview I was watching too. It wasn't on like ESPN, but he really made a lot of sense, bro. And some of these players really don't get what they should be getting. Like, even him, he was getting shortchanged for a while. And it's like, you know the type of baller Pat Bev is. Like, you should. He's like a Dennis Rodman, man. Just like a small Dennis Rodman.
Facts, though.
And a man who's not getting paid what he should be getting paid still comes out
as
well as everybody in the league too. But you know what I mean? It's like guys.
But
like
you can
Pat
clearly tell the type of players that are out there giving it they all the entire game versus people that just show up to work. You know what I mean? Some people just show up to work to do the job and then go home. Right. Other people show up because they're trying to make themselves known within this organization. They're trying to go up within the company. They're trying to really grow because they care about their own integrity, and that integrity shows in the work that they do.
That's a fact. So, but no, just shout out Pat Bev. I just wanted to shout him out. That's it.
Always shout Pat Bev. So, hottest topic, everything. I mean, what everybody's talking about right now, Kevin Durant. Right. Where is he going? Is he going? Why is he going? What is happening with that entire Brooklyn Nets situation?
Kyrie.
Oh, I was about to say Kyrie messed them all up.
Yeah, Kyrie's kind of a player.
Kyrie and then the city of New York.
And I love Kyrie.